So what better place to talk about eco-friendly travel than right here in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is 800 square miles and consists of 21,000 different species of plants and animals. 21,000. It's the greatest example of biodiversity in a national park inside the United States. And of course, it's because of that, it's earned a few reputations for being a World Heritage Site and a biosphere diversity site, something like that. Check it out on the park's website if you're interested. It also has 40 different types of salamanders. No one else in the world can claim that. There's a little plant up in the higher elevation called a Rugel's ragwort. It looks like a dandelion, but not as pretty. But it is the only place in the world that little plant grows, that little flower blooms. The challenge here is that we have a large number of travelers. The last few years have ranged anywhere from 11 to 13 million people per year. So it makes for some logistics challenges, and the park is trying to accommodate as many people as they can. In terms of green travel, sometimes we think that it means living crunchy, hugging trees, and staying in a tent, and that's just not the case. So there are varying levels of sustainability that we can look for when we travel, and they can be as simple as taking a walk like I am right now. It can be as simple as using the trolley system in Gatlinburg, or reducing our footprint by eating a picnic instead of at a fast food joint. In the last episode, we discussed ecotourism and the conflict that we have between progress, development, and nature, and our intentional goal at Smoky Mountain Eco and the property we're developing to try to go as green as we can. More sustainable alternatives include hiking, which you'd guess, backpacking, which is pretty obvious, but also a number of other things like rock climbing, rappelling, zip lining, swimming, of course, eating picnics, like I said a minute ago, whitewater rafting, tubing, and of course the list goes on and on. Of course, it's sometimes a challenge to balance all those, and so we all have varying degrees of focus on those activities. In terms of lodging, it's a little bit different. So when you're thinking about green or eco-friendly lodging, then there are websites that help to host or explain which ones are more green. And we do have a good example here in Gatlinburg of one particular hotel that's got a LEED certification, which is basically a certification that says that they are more sustainable than their neighbors probably. I made a really long list of the different things that we're going to try to do on our property. I'll talk a little louder because the creek or the river is right here by me. By the way, we're walking Gatlinburg Trail is the name of this trail, and it's inside the park. It is the easiest hike in the park or walk, and to be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever done it. My wife's talked about it for several years after having brought our dog on this trail. It's also a pet-friendly trail, and it's a very level, comfortable walk from Gatlinburg to the visitor center, which of course has a really nice museum if you're interested. On our particular project, we're hoping to do a number of things that just aren't possible in hotels. So specifically, we're trying to minimize our impact on the environment by having a smaller footprint in the structures. We are planning to have a full recycling program. We plan to use less plastic, less waste, and also try to find ways to use less water, like water reduction for our faucets and other usage. And that's kind of a balance, of course, because we're going to need water. Everybody needs it, and we'll use it for the pool. But our pool size probably won't be as large as we'd like for it to be for that reason, and because of the cost. So the next thing we're looking at is, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, nice walk. So it actually, walking by her reminds me of something we're planning to do. So what we hope to achieve, and you might have already gotten a sense of this in the last few videos, but we'll try to give a feeling of community to the people who come to visit. Yeah, you may only be with us for 3 or 4 or 5 nights, but you're part of the community while you're there. Renewable energy. An important discussion for us to have. We've all seen and assumed that solar is cost prohibitive, but we have a goal on the property to try to put back into the grid what we're able to collect from the sun through the use of solar panels. And to keep our costs down, we'll probably not be using batteries for that large solar farm. Thanks for checking out the channel. Please subscribe if you have not already. This channel is focused on talking about nature and calling more attention to it.